Thank you for standing by and welcome to the Imugene Investor Webinar and Q&A today, discussing the strategic collaboration announced with Eureka Therapeutics. All participants are in a listen-only mode. There will be an initial slide presentation lasting for approximately 20 minutes, followed by approximately 10 minutes of Q&A. If you'd like to submit a live question, please do so using the Q&A panel within Zoom. On behalf of Imugene today, we have CEO and Managing Director, Leslie Chong. And joining Leslie, I'd like to welcome Eureka Therapeutics founder and CEO, Dr. Cheng Lu. First off, I'll hand it over to Leslie. Please go ahead.
Hi there, everyone. I'm really exuberantly excited to announce our collaboration today. And first off, we'll go over a few slides to go over exactly what we're combining with. Next slide, please. And my disclaimer. And next slide, please. So just a brief introduction of Imugene. In 2013, Paul Hopper formed the company currently known as Imugene. I joined in late 2015, 2017, we were able to put our first product called Hervax into the clinic. We liked the idea of your B cells creating the antibodies against a certain target, so much so we ended up acquiring the whole pipeline from Ohio State University and Mayo Clinic of B-cell therapies. And Paul was able to sell a company called Cellularity, it was an oncolytic virus, to Merck for roughly about $500 million. So we went on a search for a prolific and profound oncolytic virus that we call CF33. So 2019, we were able to acquire that. And as early as May 2021, the scientists at City of Hope was able to create a product that we now call onCARlytics, where they took CF33 and shuttled up a CD19 flag that covers the solid tumor so that a CD19 directed targeted therapy can combine with it and obliterate the solid tumor. So that's exactly what we're talking about today. And so Eureka has such a product. It's a CD19 directed T-cell therapy called ARTEMIS, and we are entering into a collaboration. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about our strategic research partnership with Eureka. So this partnership will explore the combination of Imugene CD19 oncolytic virus that we call onCARlytics in combination with Eureka's anti-CD19 product called ARTEMIS. Now, this is a T-cell therapy. It already has a wealth of data preclinically. In a head-to-head with a CAR T-cell, it not only demonstrated superior efficacy, it also showed lots of safety, such that the cytokine release syndrome was lessened, and the other cytokine-related toxicities as compared to other CAR Ts. This could potentially improve the efficacy and safety of our combination approach. And what's so great about ARTEMIS is it's already been in the clinic and has safety data as well as some efficacy data. So Imugene's novel strategy to treat solid tumor with onCARlytics and CD19 is made realized with our combination with ARTEMIS. Next slide, please. And I'd love to have you learn more about Eureka's product ARTEMIS. So I'm going to invite Dr. Cheng Lu to present to us his company and his beautiful product.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm Cheng Lu, founder CEO of Eureka Therapeutics. Happy Halloween. It's a great pleasure today for me to talk about this partnership with Imugene, which I see a great potential and potentially a great game changer for the treatment of solid tumors. So next slide, please. So we at Eureka Therapeutics, we are committed to developing more effective and safer treatment for cancer. And we believe that cell therapy, T-cell immunotherapy, is an important tool towards achieving that goal. And so while T-cell therapy have achieved some great success in treating blood cancers, but right now, the solid tumors remaining to be very challenging. So today, working this Imugene's, the mark and kill strategy to us is really exciting new strategy of treating solid tumors. And while Eureka as we said, we're one of the pioneering T-cell therapy companies in the world. And right now, we're focusing on in the US, treating liver cancers. And we have ongoing clinical trials in the US for treating liver cancer and solid tumors. And we're very excited to add Imugene as, in addition to our distinguished list of collaborators and partners like Lyle and Juno, part of the BMS, and Sanofi, and together with the world-leading research cancer centers like Memorial Sloan Cancer Center. Next slide. So Eureka, we're a science-driven company, and over the years, we have built a strong technology platform of engineering T-cells for treating cancer. According to the Nature Biotechnology, every year, every December, they release the ranking of companies and institutions in the field of CAR-T immunotherapy. I'm very happy to show you that Eureka actually ranked number 9 in the whole world, and we ranked number 4 in the industry. And actually, the joke is Eureka is the only private company on this list. So this just to showcase that Eureka's strength in the field of T-cell immunotherapy. Next slide. This partnership between Imugene and Eureka Therapeutics is the mark and the kill approach for treating solid tumors. And what Imugene, as Leslie explained earlier, is this oncolytic virus as a shuttle, and so that it can deliver the CD19 to mark the tumor cells. And then Eureka, we're providing the ARTEMIS therapy. Actually, that's a kill side of this collaboration, this combo. Then the question is, why ARTEMIS? Why not so many other CAR-T targeting CD19? Is that over the years, we have shown in head-to-head comparisons between ARTEMIS and CAR-T that ARTEMIS, this technology, shows superior efficacy and enhanced tumor infiltration and less T-cell exhaustion. But more importantly, we have shown clinically, it has reduced the cytokine release syndrome, the CRS, and cytokine-related cytotoxicities, which has been shown clinically to be a big problem for the competing CD19 targeted CAR-T therapies. And so the data shows almost 1/3 of the patients treated with the other CAR-T targeting therapies actually end up having severe CRS or neurotoxicity. And thinking about this, that this mark and kill approach for solid tumors, that having a much safer T-cell therapy as a partner will significantly reduce the cost and headaches and expanding the patient population. So that we're excited that we are the partner for the Imugene for this mark and kill strategy. So next slide. In this slide, I'm going to show you some of the data to substantiate what our claims. Without going to the technical details, the left panel shows the cytokine profiling of the ARTEMIS T-cell versus conventional CAR targeting CD19. Not so much long story short, you can see that ARTEMIS actually secrete significantly lower cytokines across the panel, about 10-fold, sometimes up to 100-fold less, while at the same time maintaining the same and even better efficacy of killing cancer cells, as shown on the right side of this slide. So next. One of the big challenge of solid tumors for T-cell therapy is that it's solid tumor, that the T-cells needs to be able to infiltrate the solid tumor in order to kill the cancer cells. And ARTEMIS has a built-in proprietary technology that enhances the T-cells infiltration into the solid tumors. As shown in this slide, actually visually, you can see that the CD3 cells, which actually shows the human engineered T-cells, have significantly higher infiltration than the CAR-T technology in the head-to-head comparison in the preclinical tumor model. And the left corner, you can see the percentage of infiltration is many-fold higher using the ARTEMIS technology. So next. Well, at Eureka, we believe in that we can only achieve the cure of cancer. We can conquer this big threat for humankind by partnership, by working together with the best scientists, with the best companies in the world, and as a team. Through partnerships and together, we can reach our goal. And here I want to show you one of our collaborators, Dr. Steve Grubb at the UPenn, that in comparing, who actually did the work of comparing ARTEMIS versus CAR-T. As you know, Dr. Steve Grubb is a pioneer in CAR-T therapy, using CAR-T therapy to treat CD19 positive malignancy. And he's the one, he is the doctor who actually treated Emily Whitehead, the poster child, the first actually reported pediatric patient who actually achieved the cure by receiving the treatment of CD19 targeted T-cell therapy. And Dr. Steve Grubb have verified and the claim that in his own lab at UPenn, that ARTEMIS in head-to-head comparison with CAR-T has better anti-tumor efficacy and a better safety profile and a longer durability with a less exhausted phenotype. So next. At Eureka, we've been working in the T-cell immunotherapy field for a while, and we built a strong pipeline. And today, to my great pleasure, we're adding Imugene, this partnership, to our pipeline. And I said earlier, this is a truly brilliant and innovative approach, this mark and cure approach for treating solid tumors. I think if it works, it will be a game changer for the whole, not only the solid tumor field, but I think for the whole cancer immunotherapy. So I'll stop here and Leslie, take over. Thank you.
Thank you, Chang. So I love that saying, mark and kill, and that's exactly what onCARlytics does. So we know that our CF33 love to infiltrate only into malignant cells. It shuttles up the flag, which is the CD19, and expresses it. So it marks every solid tumor such that ARTEMIS can then come and kill it. So next slide, please. So just as Chang spoke about beautifully, our viral infection happens. It happens at an accelerated rate in a solid tumor. It shuttles up the CD19 flag. You add ARTEMIS to the fight, and this whole circular motion of your endogenous T-cell mark and killing of solid tumors, which is something like 85–90% of all cancer type. So you can imagine how excited we are about this combination that will hope to lead into a very efficacious and possibly even safe, and if we can even affect the drug price, even better. Next slide, please. So I always said, follow the science. I think that's just been my motto, and that's exactly what we're doing here. We're following the science. When we saw this data, that indeed onCARlytics does shuttle up. If you look at that pink markers across all the malignant cells, shuttling up the CD19 flag, marking so that ARTEMIS can come and kill those solid tumors. And when you put it across many different tumor types, you see a higher infection at a faster rate. And in that combination, the last right figures, when you add our oncolytic virus 19 and a CAR, it completely arrests tumors. Next slide, please. And we have, we're a fortunate company where we have a lot of programs ongoing, a lot of major milestones. And today we have one with Eureka with our combination start. Next slide, please. Again, we're quite fortunate in that we have a lot of cash equivalent in the bank currently. And I believe our share price is a little bit over 50 cents, which is delightful because if you look at our 52-week range, we've gone from literally 5 cents to 50 some odd cents. So it's just, it's an incredible ride that Imugene's been on. And I think because we've been following the science. Next slide, please. That's the end of our presentation. We'd love to open the floor up for questions, please.
Thank you, Leslie, and thanks to Cheng as well. We'll now move on to the Q&A session and get through as many as we can over the next approximately 10 minutes. If you'd like to submit a question, please do so by typing it into the Q&A panel within Zoom. The first question is for you, Leslie, and it's come in a couple of times, I believe, which is, are you still working with Cellularity, and what does this mean in that regard?
Well, Imugene is quite promiscuous, I would say. And yes, we are working with Cellularity because Cellularity's mechanism of action of their CAR-T is very different from ARTEMIS and Eureka's ARTEMIS, because Cellularity is an allogeneic, Eureka is an autologous. We get to see how both products work with onCARlytics, so it's quite beneficial.
Thank you. The next question's for you, Cheng, and that is there any human clinical results for the ARTEMIS platform?
Yes, there has been multiple clinical work that has validated Eureka's ARTEMIS platform. Actually, we have patients' data have shown that they not only have good efficacy, and the claim of significantly reduced CRS has been validated clinically.
Great, thank you. The next question is, when will the phase 1 study commence and on what tumour types?
Cheng and I are currently, we'll see what the in vivo in vitro study fruits, and we can decide. They have liver expertise, which is wonderful because we're very interested in that. We're interested in gastric. We're interested in all levels of solid tumor. And that's the beauty of this combination, that we can go into several different solid tumor types.
Right.
Great. The next one's for Cheng again, which is, what was it that attracted you to work with Imugene?
To me, two things. One is this approach, this oncolytic mark and kill approach. To me, it's brilliant. It's and the great potential to actually, it's a potential game changer, because for multiple reasons. Is that it's not limited. It's a targetless approach, which means that if once it works, you're not depending on the target profiling of the tumor. You can actually force the tumor to express the target you want, and then you treat with the T-cell therapy to kill the tumor. So you can see as the future market is no longer limited to any single tumor type. The second big reason is actually, I would say, it's a team. I feel like in the past, in a few months in us working together to come to this agreement, it's just a chemistry, it just works. So I'm very excited and really look forward to the future collaboration on this.
I'm glad you said that, Cheng, because I do think that the chemistry is so important, and we could literally finish each other's sentence.
Yeah,
so it's great.
That's right.
Great. The next question is, do you see a role for this collaboration in the treatment of multiple myeloma?
Is that Leslie or?
Well, CD19 is already expressed in certain multiple myeloma, and there are CD19 directed CAR-Ts already in the market. We're thinking more on the lines of that market has been well served. The solid tumors have not. So we really want to target solid tumors. That's the difference between our mark and kill approach versus a hematologic malignancies.
And sorry, Cheng, did you have anything to add to that?
No, that's Leslie answered pretty well.
No problem. Just again, as a reminder, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to submit them using the Q&A option. The next question is, in regards to, I think this is for you, Leslie, Imugene's progressive pipeline, how do you see this partnership developing in the future?
I think it will be quite expedited, given that ARTEMIS has already been in the clinic, which gives a lot of validity, also data that we can move forward with FDA IND. And in the combination, I think we are verging on something pretty heroic here to look at solid tumors in a different way in this combination. I think it's going to really change the landscape of how we treat solid tumors.
Thank you. Another one for you, Leslie, is, are you aware of any clinical results on the efficacy of CAR-T and oncolytic viruses on cancer types, or is Imugene's collaboration the first of its kind?
I would say we're the pioneers. We are the, onCARlytics came about to our forum because it was on the cover of Science Translational Medicine. The inventors are well known to Chang, and they collaborated in the past, but this is a new product out there of combining an oncolytic virus with a CAR T. No one has done it yet. That doesn't mean that no one else will do it, but we're just the pioneers. And we think we have two better products to combine.
Great. The next question is, and it might be early to say on this one, but can you elaborate on the path forward with respect to timing and potential R&D costs associated with future clinical work?
Well, we're fortunate because early work isn't as pricey as when we go into the clinic. So that's still a few months away, I would say. So we're working towards getting the preclinical results such that we can obtain a combination FDA IND, and then we'll go into the clinic. At that point, it depends on which indications that we'll go into, how many sites, what kind of studies we're running to see what that development cost would be. But at that time, we're not really talking about that because we want to see the early preclinical work first and how we can combine.
Great. The next question is for you, Leslie. Does the onCARlytics virus require any modification in order to work in combination with ARTEMIS?
So far, no. We think they have a perfect product. We have a perfect product, and we'll just see how beautifully they'll work in preclinically.
And the next question is, I'm not sure how much we can say on this, but what are the long-term commercial arrangements?
We want to see how our two perfect products can combine together, and then we'll talk about the commercial aspect. We want to follow the science. And if we follow the science, value will come.
Yeah. Totally agree.
If we thought about the commercial aspect first and went backwards, I don't think that that's how you develop good products for patients. You have to think about, does it work preclinically, and how can we best put it in a space that's going to work optimally? And then all that will come beautifully later.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. I'll just again remind anyone, if you would like to submit a question, just do so using the Q&A panel within Zoom. A question just come in around potential for IP protection of the combination. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, we each have a patent secured for each of our products, and then we'll likely have another patent for the combination if we need to. We currently both own patents of our individual proprietary products.
And a follow-up question is, where do you anticipate the clinical trial would take place for this?
Probably in the US, Australia, wherever we can have them. Again, it depends on which indication, where is it optimally going to be ran, where will it be manufactured, and ease of use. So all those will depend on those factors before we decide the regions.
Great. And a question for Chang. I know this was covered a little bit in your slides, but can you just give a little bit of background on Eureka for those who've joined later who didn't hear it earlier on?
Eureka, we're headquartered in Silicon Valley in the San Francisco Bay Area. We were founded in 2006. We've been around for a while. And the company, it's an R&D company. It's a clinical stage cancer immunotherapy company. And right now we have 3 clinical programs in the US in phase 1/2 trials, focusing on liver cancer in both adult HCC and pediatric liver cancers. And over the years, we work and partner with many of the world leading companies and academic research centers like Lyell, BMS, the Juno, Sanofi, Memorial Sloan Kettering, and now I'm very happy to have Imugene to be the part of the partnership list.
Thanks very much for that, that recap, Cheng.
Mhm.
Another question's come through, which is from a US-based investor who's asked specifically, are there any other products that Eureka has in its pipeline that may stand to benefit from onCARlytics? Probably a good one for you, Cheng.
As Leslie alluded earlier, that liver cancer, that's actually is Eureka's leading clinical program. We know a lot, the landscape and everything liver cancer, but as I said, the beauty of this Imugene, this mark and kill approach is not limited by any specific cancer type. So if it turned out that liver cancer is the best indication to move forward in terms of a timely fashion, we'll be very happy to work together. But but Eureka, in addition to liver cancer, we actually are also working lung cancer, ovarian cancer, and many other cancer types. So again, we think we want the science to lead the way. And so once the science works, I just say sky's the limit. There's many areas we can partner.
We're going to have the luxury of choice.
Yes.
Right? So,
yeah.
Great. Well, that's a good note to finish on. Thank you very much, Cheng, for taking the time, especially on your Sunday. And Leslie, thanks again for having the briefing today. That's it for today's session on Imugene and Eureka Therapeutics collaboration. Thanks for everyone who's joined today, for taking the time to have a listen, and you can now disconnect.
thanks, everyone.